So hello everyone, it is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the Black Yule Brenner Saadiq, my partner in crime, and I have a special guest, Walter Coulter, who is going to be giving us a lot of helpful information and advice. So I'll wait for everybody to get a chance to come in. If you'd like to share the video, please share the video so everybody else can get the wisdom and the knowledge, because these are the things I know. Sydney, let me tell you something. Me and Donovan was on time. That's Walter. Walter made us late because, you know, we be here at 3 o'clock. So anyway, so we're going to give everybody just a second or two to come on in and share it if you like. We would like you to share it again so everybody can get this information. And so it is always the purpose of the Demetra K Show to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. I'd also like to extend a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything that he does behind the scenes. And for you guys on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel for more insightful commentary. And also to Facebook, thank you for being the other side of the conversation. Now, I will tell you, lately our traffic has grown a lot. And so it is kind of hard for me to read every last comment. So between Donovan and I, we will read as many of the comments as we can. And if you see somebody's kind of asked the question that you want to ask already, maybe find a different question to ask. That way it'll help alleviate my vocal cords, right? And so anyway, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So as we know, there's a whole lot of things that are going on in 2020. 2020 has showed its whole ass up until this point, to say the least. And before I get started, I'd like to say, as I said on my post earlier, thank you to everybody who, the soldiers that are on the front lines, the people who are helping to fund the effort, and to people who are lending their voices and their support. And to the rest of you, like I said, you get the Bozak. You know why you get the Bozak? Because y'all complaining and whining and doing a whole lot of other stuff that's not conducive to people who are putting it on the line. So anyway, now we are in the middle of the pandemic. The COVID is still going on. It's, you know, still taking lives, and it's spreading in some places. And now we have this protest. Now, what is this protest? This protest is in regards to George Floyd, who was murdered by a police officer last Monday. The police officer, and I'm going to call him a race soldier, put his knee to his neck, killing him, although the autopsy came back and said that the knee to the neck wasn't really the cause of death. But we ain't stupid. We know it was the cause of death. And so all hell broke loose, for a lack of better words, right? People have taken to the streets in every state in the nation. Some are doing it peacefully. And a lot of people are like, we're tired. Enough is enough. We are tired of seeing Black people murdered wholesale by these race soldiers. And so we are going to tear some stuff up, for a lack of better words. Now, I think it's also fair to say that a lot of people out there on the front lines aren't there to actually help. A lot of it is said that Antifa's out there, white supremacists are out there, there's a whole lot of distractors. People are out there doing things that are not conducive to the cause. And so here we are, right? And so there's this boycott going on. Also, we have with, what's the name? T.I., who's kind of been raccooning a little bit too. He has called for this national blackout for Black people, and then people of colors, what he says, to stop spending money on July 7th. Well, we talked about that on Friday. We actually think the date should be moved to Juneteenth, because most people have spent all of their money on 4th of July. And so the July 7th is a bad date. So also you have Kaepernick, who has been boycotting since, was it 2016, 17, something like that, when he first took a knee due to the wholesale murder of Black men and women and children by the hands of the police, and a whole host of injustices that go on with Black people. And so now it's starting, the momentum is starting to catch on. Like, we should have been protesting with Kaepernick. I know Donovan was, and he's a diehard football fan. Walter, I don't know about you. But so now a lot of people are trying to renew the effort. Okay, like, listen, maybe this time around we can all get on the same page. The NFL, they released a statement kind of saying they understand and they're in solidarity. It's like blah, 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 right? So anyway, while we're doing all of this boycotting and not spending money, we want to talk about ways to actually help save money. And that's why we have Walter here, Walter Coulter, who is a financial advisor He is a financial guru. He can show you how to make, or we say earn and save money. Not only earn and save money, but how to grow money. He has worked with a whole host of celebrities, athletes, you name it. He's worked with them all. And so he has a lot of answers. He doesn't have all the answers, but he has a lot of answers. And he's actually helped a lot of people who watch this show on a regular basis with the stock market. Donovan is good with that too. Helping with the stock market, just investment advice, buying cars, just a whole bunch of stuff. And so now is your opportunity to ask him questions. But first, Walter's going to give us his top 3 to 5 to 10 ways of how to save money and how to make your money grow, because we actually want,
Wait. I just want to give somebody some quick advice. You're going on a show like this, you better take notes.
Right. So please take notes, because a lot of people have actually used this advice and they are doing much better financially and just in every other way, shape, and form. And so what I'm going to do now is, and again, if you guys have questions, we would love to address them. So please put your questions in the comment section, and Donovan and I will monitor it, but we're going to give Walter the floor. We'll chime in here and there. So I hope I've covered everything. So Walter, what say you?
I like that. Well, first of all, let me say this. The whole June 7th, Juneteenth thing, I like Juneteenth better, but let me tell you why I have a problem with most of it. First of all, if you have true power, why do we have to pick a date that goes around the convenience of like, oh, well, we're going to spend our money on the 4th, so we should do it on the 7th. Well, why don't we give ourselves 2 more weeks so we can recuperate after we blow our money? That's the whole reason that we're in trouble. Like, here's the thing, and we come on here a lot, and before I get going, I want to say, if you learn something from these things, do a testimonial, share, write it down, tell somebody so they can come back and help spread the word. So going back to my topic is you need to move now. You know, it's like my son Christopher had a shirt that said procrastinators unite tomorrow. Like, it has to be right now. Like, they rolled up on this dude, put him in handcuffs, and choked him out at the moment. You know, they didn't say we're going to choke him out next week. They moved right now. We need to be the same way. So it needs to be right now, this moment. Like, what's stopping us from right now saying, you know what, we're not going to spend anymore. We're going to save our money. Or if you want to take it a step further, and this is normally not like me, spend your money with people that are like you. We keep talking about, like, you know, people spending money with our own, you know, be it with Black people, if you're Jewish or whatever. You know, it's like, for instance, my barber is a Black dude. My hair is a mess right now, but I won't get my hair cut because the brother, he's out of town. So I'm like, I'm waiting. And I've never done that. I'm quick to go to I had an Asian dude to cut hair next door, and he's got skills. But I was like, you know what? Nothing against my Asian brother. I'm going to wait for my Black brother, right? So we can start doing things like this now. Don't wait for a certain date. You know, T.I., you guys, I get it. Here's T.I.'s position is he has to work for the man, but also work for us too, right? Because T.I. is getting his check from the man, period. And until you own all your music and all your stuff, you have a boss. Ask Michael, ask Prince, ask all those cats. You have a boss. So for T.I. to say, matter of fact, what day of the week is the 7th? Does anybody know? I know 4th is a Friday, right? So that's 5, 6. You know, the 7th is a Monday. Who in the hell spends money on a Monday anyway?
No. It's a Sunday. Sunday.
Is it really?
Yeah, Sunday.
Oh, wait a minute. Huh?
I think it's a Tuesday.
Well, okay, so I normally go off the stock market. I know June 4th is a I thought it was Friday.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. I'm sorry.
It's Tuesday the 7th. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I need to make some adjustments. So who spends, I mean, the best day to do it would be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, don't you think? The days that we spend the most money? Like, that's what we ought to be doing. And it shouldn't be like, yo, let's not just spend money. It should be, let's save money. If Black people took one day a week and they didn't spend any money and they just saved it and just put it in their bank or just kept it in their piggy bank, their top drawer. Really, I don't really care as long as you save it. We would be so much powerful. You know, like I have this recurrent dream, right? Like I get pulled over by a cop and like I have 5 black SUVs roll out and I have like 3 Black Hawk helicopters just form a circle around me. And they just roll up on the cop like, hey, you pulled over the wrong dude. You know what that takes? Money. And that's something I think about on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about this. Me and my one of my friends last night was talking about O.J. Simpson and how they're bringing the Bronco back for next year. Think about this for a second, right? Black dude, whatever, believe in OJ or not, they're bringing back this car. But you know why OJ is not in jail right now? Because he has money. Why can't we learn from that? Right? Do you know, like, I'll give you another idea. The life insurance industry uses OJ in their presentations to say that his life insurance is the reason he has money, which is not true. But the point I'm making is the brother had money, believe if he did it or not. So, like, I watched this Jeffrey Epstein thing, and I'm not one to watch TV, but if it's something I can learn from, I watch it. You cannot tell me that you didn't watch the Jeffrey Epstein Netflix special and go, the only reason he is not in jail is because he has money and power, and he has presidents and people of influence on video camera doing some freaky stuff to minor kids, right? He has money, and even the people were like, how did this dude get jail time and his community service, and he's off on his helicopter somewhere? They didn't even know where he's at. Like, Donovan, me and you get arrested because we have 44 14-year-old girls say, Donovan, not only did he pick me up, he had his daughter come get all of us and got us all on tape, and they got pictures of all of us butt naked. And me and you get community service, and me and you in the seashells somewhere. And they got to call and bring us back. But that sounds funny, right? But if me and Donovan were billionaires, we had a better chance of doing that. So here's what I'm saying, you guys, is save your money. Like I heard somebody say, you can treat a woman horribly. You can slap the shit out of her. You can cheat on her. You can beat her. But if you got money, she will think twice before leaving you.
So let me jump in there. So I just want to tell y'all, we are not advocating to do any of that kind of stuff. We're just making some examples. Maybe we could pick some better examples. However, we trying to, this is how he's trying to teach us a little bit about saving. So Walter, give us your first tip on how to save money while Black.
Okay. First of all, first thing you need to do is find out where you stand. Where do you stand? I do a T chart. So A is for assets, L is for liabilities, I is for income, E is for expenses. What I do is find out, like I look at my stuff all the time. Where do I stand? What do I have in assets? Cash, equity in my cars, real estate. What do people owe me? Whatever. What can I sell? Jewelry, hats, clothes, cars. What do I have of value? And then what do I owe against those things? So if I have to cash out, how much money do I have? Right? And then what is my income? How much money do I make? And then what am I spending? So knowing where you stand is powerful. I'll give you an idea. When I look at what I have, it makes me feel better. Donovan, I know you guys can relate. Have you ever felt like, whoa, I don't have as much money as I thought, or I could do better? And then you add up everything you have, and then you actually have more than you thought you had, right? It's kind of like, so knowing where you stand is number one. We call it, in financial planning, we call it financial position. It's one of the things that's most overlooked, but it is knowing where you stand. Your financial position is huge. Knowing where you stand. I promise you, because you don't have to save money to do that. It's just knowing where you stand, right? In addition to that, you guys, build your credit. You can go to like Credit Karma. Some of these places are free. Or Identity ID.
Is that the number 2 advice? Build your credit?
Yes, because here's this. Well, yeah, build your credit as part of financial position. But yeah, let's call that number 2. I'll just give you 4 or 5. So building your credit, because what you do by building your FICO score, it will put you in a better position. It will make you feel better. When you have a 750 FICO score versus a 520, you will feel better. Like, So, and here's what I mean by that. By just your credit score is an indication of just telling the banks and everybody what kind of person you are financially, where do you stand. So, know where you stand, number one. The second thing I would say is follow your religious leaders when it comes to this part. In most religions, they tell you to say, like, donate money to your church. What they also tell you is to give money to charity and also give money to yourself. 30% of your money is supposed to go to you, your organization. You understand what I'm saying? Most people do not save money. And I get tired of telling people you need to save. It's just like, come on, like, do I need to tell you you need to brush your teeth? So here's what I would say. Take every dollar and take 5 cents and put it to the side. Just start with 5 cents, right? That's 5% of your net worth. That will make you also feel better. Even if you have to go spend it, I don't care if you spend all of it, but the fact that you do it, even if you spend it, what happens is it's like lifting weights. You will start to build that muscle, and then you'll be more mature, and you will start saving that. You'll start keeping it. And here's the other thing too, when it comes to that, you guys, people rarely make financial mistakes or loan out money or blow it when it takes them forever to save it. Right? Everybody knows the old grandmama or grandfather or uncle who's got a bunch of money and he's not spending it. And he spent 30, 40 years working at Roar or Boeing or Alcoa, wherever it is, and he's not spending that money. And he's the pillar in the family. Like, I got an uncle, I'm gonna leave him nameless. But every time I go to his house, he's so chill, he's so relaxed, he don't have a stress in the world on his face. And you know why I believe that is? Mostly because he's financially stable. And so even if you start saving a little bit of money, it will give you more power too. Because no one really insults you and gets away with it if you have your money saved, because it makes you feel better. And then knowing where you stand is huge. Here's number 3. Get some protection. Now, so let's say, for instance, right, this sucks to have to say it this way, but let's say you got killed by the police, because I can say that 5 years ago and it would seem like, oh, that's silly. But right now, it's actually quite, I hear people saying like, hey, even going outside as a Black person is dangerous. Like, I need to go outside with my cell phone camera. Like, Black people, for us, our gun is our cell phone. We reach for our cell phone these days first, which I think is insane. So get you some protection. If you're gonna die, make sure your family is taken care of. For $20 a month, you can get $400,000 of some sort of life insurance, and you can be straight. So here's what I'm saying. You have your clothing line. What's your shirt cost that you wearing? If I wanted to buy it.
Well, this is not mine. I bought this from another Black designer, but we're still working out the price point, but it's going to be very, very reasonable.
So what's the shirt cost? $20?
A shirt? No, it's not going to be that much.
Okay, well, if it was me, it was, but that's whatever. So $20. I think that's cheap, because it's funny, Abercrombie and Fitch would charge $45 for a shirt with no meaning, but whatever. So for the price of a reasonable shirt, $20, you can buy $500,000 life insurance as a 40-year-old man, and you can cover your family. So, or you could cover, if you're that selfish, cover somebody above you, cover an aunt or uncle, your parents, so when they die, you get money so you can keep the party going. So we have to get protection. And you guys, we have to start taking true responsibility, right? So own up to what's going on. And here's the other thing I want to add to that is, and I know it's Sunday, and I got to an argument with my personal trainer. I go, you know what's more important than prayer is gratitude. That's why I said, think about this. You guys, we as Black people, we are in the best physical condition of any other race. We are the smartest race on the planet. And people admire us. When I put on my suit and I walk into a room full of white people, they are in admiration. They love to see a Black man walk into a room with power and his shit together. Now, they don't always like oh my God, they got power. But you have to admit, when you see a black man get out of his car in a suit or business, whatever it is, that's attractive. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think gratitude, we have so much going for us. Like if you run a red light, that light was created by Garrett Moore. I think his name's Garrett Moore. Am I saying it right, Donovan? Garrett Morrison or Morgan or something like that. Right? The brother that created the stoplight. If you go to Europe, Africans created the aqueducts. And the reasons that Europeans had running water is because of us. So what we need to do is start saying, hey, we are powerful people, right? We are queens and kings. Would a king and a queen behaved to the point where they would not have any money in the bank? How would Pharaoh be with no money in his kingdom saved?
So I want you to stop right there because I see a question going into the insurance. So, Lori, what's happening? You say I have always wondered if I should have separate insurance outside of my job.
Hell yes, because you can lose that job, and that's not your insurance. That insurance belongs to your employer. When they fire you, lay you off, and you quit, it will go away. You should always have your own insurance. Always. That way you can take it with you. And there's multiple types of insurance. And at this point, just get some. Be it term or permanent, which is your own policy. And yes, can I say something about the insurance? And forgive me, but if you are a human being and you don't have life insurance, if you don't have enough insurance to make sure your family is safe, they can bury you and take care of everything properly, and you are aware of what to do, you are a horrible person in my book. I talk to people all the time. Get life insurance. Oh, I'm going to get around to it. You have a new car, new house, new shoes, and your family has no protection. Black people, you have zero excuse to complain if you don't have life insurance or if you are not protecting your family against some sort of critical illness or something if something happens to you. You have no excuse because, like, if you die and you leave your kids with nothing, you are a horrible person. And it's a selfless act where you have to take care of the next generation. I have almost $3 million in life insurance, and I don't like paying for it. But you know what I like? If I was killed in this car, if a meteor landed on this car and I died, my family, my kids would each get $500,000. And it's not that I would just give them money to be nigger rich. They have a written plan, and I'm at peace knowing that they have money and they know what to do.
What about your
Well, my sisters are on my living trust to manage the money, but that's a whole different subject, right? And there's always room for improvement. So, and that's a vice versa question. So, and it's cheap, you guys. Peace of mind is the best interest rate. Here's what I mean. If you have your stuff together, you could be at peace and you could do it one block at a time. Now, if you can't get life insurance, that's different because there's some people that medically just can't get it. And so you get a pass, right? But you can stack your money or you can create knowledge. You understand what I'm saying?
So that actually goes into Charles's question. And hello to everybody is on here. I'm going to try to get all of your comments regarding what he's saying, but I just want to say hello to everybody who's joined us. So Charles says, any advice for those who are disabled or on disability? I do think your advice is very sound. Financial position and the insurance policy and support Black and like-minded people. So what advice would you have for somebody who sounds like is on maybe on a fixed income? I mean, in regards to insurance and position.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you have mental capacity? Like, because you can be disabled, it could be a mental disability or it could be a physical one. So, and if you have a disability in this country and it is documented, you're getting a check from the government, period, right? Or if you're taking care of someone that has a disability, you're getting a check. The question is, what are you doing with that check? If you are getting $1,000 a month, let's say your income is $1,000 a month. I think it's Charles, right? Charles, you need to take $100 of that and you need to put it away no matter what. First thing. Two, you need to take another $100 and do something with it to better your life. Be it buy books, buy 10 books, or buy a course on starting a business or buy a course on mental toughness and nutrition. Spend that money to make yourself better. Then take some of that money and make sure you're putting it into something that's going to grow. Be it, if you buy 25 million, 25 bananas and sell them and turn around and buy 25 more, or oranges or flowers or masks, whatever it is, buy something and then sell it at a lower price, or a service. Like some of you guys, you can use your brain to make money. And then sometimes what you have to do, especially if you have a disability, is just take some time off and retreat. Like what I like to do is I like to, generally on the weekends, I like to go somewhere far, drive 2-3 hours away and get away from my lifestyle so I can just get clear on what I want. We call it sharpen the saw. You ever gone to a beach just on your own, chilled and got your thoughts together? So that's what you need to do. But if you have your brain, Helen Keller couldn't, Donovan, correct me if I'm wrong, she couldn't see, or is it see and hear? Right? So, but yet she was a motivational speaker. So if you have, there's certain disabilities, in my opinion, that actually help you. Like I have ADHD. And when I was a kid, my mom gave me medicine. And, people always tell me, Walter, you have ADD, you're all over the place. But you know what they never say is, oh, my God, you have so much energy. You never sleep. You're always trying everything. And sooner or later, one of these are going to work. Right. So sometimes when you have a disability, people will discount you, which will give you time off to do things on your own. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes we go ahead.
No, I know what you're saying. So I just want to make sure we have this right. So first is a financial position, know where you are. Two is give to yourself, like you said, like the churches and stuff. Give something to yourself, right? As far as make sure you have something. 3 is get protection, so life insurance. Make sure you're protected, your family's protected. 4 is gratitude. And then what would be your 5th one? And you guys, if you have any more questions, keep them coming, because this is some world-class advice that's a game changer. And he said his mind is still sharp. Charles.
Okay, good. So if you think about this, how do people get rich? By their brain. Rarely do you build wealth by using your body, unless you're playing football, basketball. But even some of those guys like Michael Jordan, people would argue is the most mentally tough individual that's ever lived in sports. Right? So it's all mind control. Maybe it's Tom Brady. I think that's what Donovan's saying.
Kobe.
Okay, but Kobe too. By far. Don't get me started on Kobe. Kobe was like up there, like light years ahead of most people. Even Michael Jordan was like, yo, Kobe was like, if Kobe would have lived longer, there'd be statues of him. Right? So you have the ability to use your brain. Here's the other thing, number 5, and I hope you guys are writing this down. Association. Who do you surround yourselves with? And here's what I mean by that. If you take the 5 people that you surround yourself with, are you the strongest person in the group? If you are suffering the most. Let me say this again. Take the 5 people that you spend time with. You will be the average of their income, their personality, their weight, their relationship, everything. So what you should try and do is be the weakest person in the group. What I mean is that you're always learning, right? I heard Les Brown say, if you're the leader of a group, find a new one. Or if you can be the leader of that group, but make sure you're part of another group where you're learning. You guys, sometimes I'll say something and the people around me will go, oh, I don't know if that's going to work. And my brain goes, scratch that person. That's a loser. Like, okay, forget the protest, not forget them, like, forget about it. But like, you guys think about what's going right now in the world. We have an epidemic that is claiming the lives of so many people, especially African Americans. We also have, and this breaks my heart, you guys, and especially because we need to give credit where credit is due. Right now, we have a dude from South Africa, right? I know Elon Musk, he's not like, I get it, he's not black. but he's from the motherland, right? He's South African. Elon Musk is in control of underground. He's got a company. On the ground, he's controlling it, and in space. The last 24 hours, I've been awake watching this space land. Let's put people in the moon, I mean, in space since 2011 from American soil. Like, you know what I'd like to do is sometimes I go on YouTube and I listen to Elon Musk, or I will listen to people like Tony Robbins or Michael Jordan, or you can see Kobe Bryant. You don't necessarily have to have these people in your influence. You just need to be able to have access to them, even if it's just them talking. Do you know what I'm saying? So some of you guys need to cut your influences. You need to cut some of these people go. And if it's a brother or sister, spend time. Like me and my sister are on the level, right? My sister Amanda, she's on the move. So that's why we talk so much. My sister will tell you, when people start talking bullshit, I'll just drop off. So my fifth thing would be surround yourself with powerful people that are trying to do better.
Number 6.
Oh, you want number 6? Ooh, all right. Let's keep the party going.
A whole bunch of them in you, brother.
Here's what I would do.
Before you go, Marcus,
I would get it.
Wait, Marcus wants to know, is your website up and running?
It's up and running, baby. It's there. So is it on the screen or not yet? Okay, yeah. My website's up. The cornucopia is up and running. So you can go there. You can there's a bunch of content on there about saving, investing, all that stuff. It's all there. And we're adding to it all the time. So yeah, it is it's cornucopia. There it is. Thanks, Donovan. It's up and running. There's a button there you can go and click. It says free consultation or something like that, where you can go and you click that button, it will schedule, and I will be the one on the phone with you. And then there's another button. It says strategy session. That's $50. It's a 30-minute call, but sometimes I let it go over. It just depends on my schedule.
All right. So
you can go there.
Sorry, and not to cut you off. So you guys, his website is up there. Please check him out. He's got a whole host of things that are helpful to everybody. So Lori wants to know, this is another insurance question. How can you have insurance on a child for years, miss one payment, they refuse to accept a late payment, cancel policy because child had leukemia? The incident turned me off about insurance, but I'm going to get some again.
Okay. So I'm gonna give it to you the way I would tell you if I was in a boardroom with a bunch of people. Insurance companies work like this. If you make your payment, you keep your insurance. Period. If you miss a payment with the insurance company, they're going to cancel you. Now, if you have permanent insurance cash value and you've been making payments, then you are going to have cash. So if you miss a payment, the cash will continue the policy most likely. If you have term insurance, they give you generally a 30-day grace period. So if you miss a payment for 30 days, the insurance company is going to cut you loose. And the insurance companies have this 2-year thing where they check your, they give you 2 years of non-contestability. So after 2 years, the policy of yours. So if you said you're 200 pounds and you're 5'6", and it turns out you're 300 pounds and you're 5'3", after 2 years, they got to cover you. In the first 2 years, if they find something wrong and something happens to you, it's a wrap. So I get this question all the time. Oh, I was making insurance payments and I skipped a payment and the insurance company cut me. Can I ask you a question? If you were working and your boss stopped paying you for a month, how long would you go to work? So these insurance companies, and they get a bad rap. You guys, when you have insurance, put it on auto pay. If you miss a payment, they're going to cut you. And I've had clients who've had leukemia and stuff like that, and they have cut them, right? And that's the way it's going to be. Give me one sec. Hey, you guys, do me a favor real quick. Speaking of legacy, say what's up to my oldest son, Khalid.
Oh, what's up?
Right?
The next president right here.
He's the next president. That's it. He's claiming he's going to be president. I'll be right inside. So there's my granddaughter outside. She's so cute. I got can you believe I have 4 grandkids and 6 kids? I have 10 people I'm responsible for besides myself. So, um, so yeah, make your payments, you guys. Take responsibility. I know sometimes insurance companies make mistakes, but 99% of the time, it's our fault. Period. And we have to. I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but you guys, it's the truth. We have to own up to it. These insurance companies, number one, you guys, they don't want to cover black people. They don't. Can I? Ooh, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. You're an insurance company, right? And you have to look at all the demographics, all the races in America of people that were likely to get killed, die first, get sick first, or do so, or end up in a position of poverty. What race would you cut out? Now you don't have to comment or add it, but take 2 races, 3 races, based on social, economic, and all those things, and you had to cut them out. What 3 races would you pick? We have to ask ourselves, if we are on that list, why are we on that list? We are the smartest people in the world. The Africans created everything. Do you realize Christianity is based on an Egyptian religion? Like 12 disciples, 12, there's the stars, the moon, the 3 kings, the solstices, and the son of God being the sunrise. All that stuff is based on an African religion. How are we still at the bottom of the totem pole? We need to take responsibility. And I don't mean to sound like Elijah Muhammad or Malcolm X, I'm one of those guys, but they've been saying this for years. Like Malcolm X and Elijah they have books, but yet we are still in the worst position. My father called me, and my father is, if you know my father, he was on this show. Woo! He's a radical brother. And he said to me a couple of days ago, he said, Walter, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. And I laugh, but and he says this to me all the time. And I'm like, why is that? Like, what are we doing that we can't read 1 book a year? On a financial book or a Malcolm or, my father, when I was young, gave me the Black Book. Do you think you've seen that book? I think you got it.
And guess who he's giving it to?
Yeah, well, we can talk about that later. But, yeah. So it's called the Black Book. And I remember him opening, huh?
Wisdom book.
Is it the Wisdom Book? Okay, I thought it was the Black Book. But it's a Black Book, right? So he opens up the page, and this picture is on my Facebook page. It's one of my posts when my white friends got really quiet. But there's a picture of all these white guys and women and little girls all dressed up, and there is a black man burning on the ground like firewood. And they're all taking a picture of it. And that picture sticks in my mind. It didn't stick in my mind enough, but like, especially these days, it sticks in my mind. And sometimes I have to go, how did we get in that position? And how are we so lackadaisical? Like, we know the white man don't want us here. We know that when police pull up behind you, there's a good chance that they're going to harass you because they're afraid of, like Public Enemy said, the Black Planet. Knowing all of that, why are we still so kicked back? How do you own a $200 pair of shoes and you don't have $1,000 in the bank? You are screwing up the race. That's your fault. So all these protesting, and you guys, you know what? Here's the sadder part: is black people, we get the party started, and then the whites and the other races, they take over. Do you know who's looting in this? My friend called me last night. She goes, Walter, Melrose Avenue is on fire. It is all Mexicans robbing the Champion store. I see white people everywhere. She goes, honestly, I don't see a lot of black people. It's whites and Mexicans. They're robbing and stealing on our back, on our issue. Do you understand what I'm saying? At what point do we take something like what happened to us with this poor brother, right? Regardless of what he did, I don't care what he did. That doesn't matter. To take somebody's life like that is insanity. And we still are just starting all over again. It doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense whatsoever. So, and you guys, you got to have some pride. Like, think about your future generations. They depend on us. Like, there's my granddaughter. I don't know if you can see her. That's Lily over there. If the music was playing, she looking at me crazy. Yeah. So that's my granddaughter, Lily. You turn the music on, she will get her jig on. Right. But like, hey guys, so that is my legacy right there. You understand what I'm saying? So like, if you won't do it for you, do it for your family. They need you. So, anyways, I think that's number 6, right? I'm gonna turn the floor over. I'm gonna yield my time to you.
So it looks like you gotta go.
No, I'm cool. I have time. I'm just giving you my time at the moment. I was done.
All right. So Marcus wants to know. Let me see. Let me go back to his comment. And again, I'm just and hello to everybody who was on here. I'm just trying to get you guys' comments pertaining to what Walter said. So he's saying advice on online Teespring account and how to increase sales. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know what Teespring is.
Teespring is like a service, like a T-shirt outlet to where, like, say, if you have some sort of a social media, a YouTube or something. I guess it's a company that will give you somehow allow you to make T-shirts at a discount, and then you can sell them. So I guess basically how to increase sales would be the question.
Word of mouth. Let me tell you something. One of the last CDs I bought was from a brother in a parking lot selling his CD. If a black dude walked up to me with a T-shirt, it was like, I started my own T-shirt company, I need your help, I would buy 1, 2, 3, probably 10 for my 6 kids and my 4 grandkids, right? Anytime I see a brother selling something, or even a minority for that case, I buy it, even if I don't need it. So the best thing to do is first of all, you got to get your stuff made, right? Like, I know Deanna, my niece, your daughter, makes T-shirts. She has a printing press and all that. Thanks, Donna, for the hookup, right? And you should get paid from this. I'm just saying, right? So, because you are an investor, and that's the other thing, black people, like, claim ownership to your stuff, right? If you help somebody, you should get a dividend, right? And you should also kick into the effort. So, get your shirts made, and you guys, there's nothing wrong with boots on the ground, right? Some of us, we too fly to get out there and just knock on doors. When I was a kid, we knocked on doors.
Well, we remember in the 90s, or late 80s, early 90s, Eazy-E was out there selling his records out of the trunk of his car. Master P, all those guys started boots on the ground.
That is the best advice, in my opinion. Boots on the ground, get out there, knock on some doors. Like, I worked for the student work program when I was a kid. I was getting robbed, whatever, but I was selling candies for $5 and getting 20 cents, or whatever it was, right? Doing all kinds of things. Or like, I used to cut grass and I would just knock on doors. You guys, if you have a T-shirt line or a clothing line or whatever it is, knock on some doors or use your social media page. I know this show that you guys are doing is social media based, right? Every time you guys come up, I get a button that says live, and I noticed that your views are growing. I was watching it, I think yesterday, the day before, and it was like 30, 40, 50, 60. I was like, all right. I just stayed on to listen, and mainly because so many people were watching it, because generally if people are doing something, other people want to be involved too. People like to be involved with something that other people like. So start spreading the word about what you're doing. Boots on the ground, and tell somebody what you're going to do. That way you're accountable. Like my sister, I know at 3:00, she is here no matter what. Boots, no matter, I don't care what's going on, she's in front of a computer doing her show. No matter what. I don't think she's ever missed a day.
It's been right? Rare.
Rare, right? And when she do miss a day, people start acting a fool. Like, where you at? Right? So, yeah. So all those things I said earlier, and then add them to just, putting the word up, knock on some doors, tell your family members what you're doing. Like me and my son, and I got all my kids here today. They don't know, but I'm about to hit them all with something, right? Because I always have an agenda when I see my kids, because I want them to do better. Is So me and one of my sons, we're starting a hedge fund, an investment fund where we can raise money. People can put it in our fund, and we can buy real estate and do some of these things. And we can learn from our 20 years of mine, at least in the business, and learn from my mistakes and all that stuff. And he goes, should we invite our family? I said, yeah. If we really truly believe that we can help people, wouldn't we start with our family first?
Right.
Right. So you guys help yourselves. Some of you guys have aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandfathers, uncles with money in their houses or money stacked, and they're not using it, and they're just waiting for an opportunity. Because you can't tell me if your grandkids say, hey, grandma, I'm starting a business. You got 100,000. I need 5,000. You can't tell me she's not going to give it to you.
Right. So let me get to the other question, because I know you're trying to go. It's actually my niece's birthday, and it's my mother's birthday. R.I.P. So
at the same time.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you these last couple of comments, and then we'll let you go, and then So from this next half of the show, you guys put it in the comment what you want us to talk about. We're gonna open the floor to comments, and we're gonna get every last one of your comments once we let Walter go. So I want to just read this comment. Samuel, he says, Master beat us for knowing how to read. Now it's in cellular memory. Laugh out loud. And it pertains to why we won't read. And Arson says, yep. Walter telling the truth once again. If we had taken more responsibility and gotten stronger economically from the start, there would be less of that because we would have more influence, but we own so little. And Al says, your thoughts. Parents have a favorite child. Parent to a child. I put all my assets in a trust. Want to give you power of attorney. I want you to have total control of my money and business. You don't have to worry about anything. All of the bills are paid through the accounts and the interests are covered and everything else. I need to make sure my assets are protected from lawsuits and your other siblings. I don't want him to have a strand of my hair. They have nothing. And let's see, this is story. Okay, so they have nothing and would have to come to you just to get permission to buy a hamburger and a Coke. I trust no one else other than you. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay. Wow. Woo. That's a can of worms, number one. Two, here's what you need to do. So you can if you're going to do anything like that, it needs to be notarized. And it needs to be in some sort of living trust. Because what a lot of people do is they try and leave a kid out, and then that kid swings around and they contest the will or whatever you have in writing, and then it's up in court. Number one. So what you should do is, and I'm not big on excluding family members. I have 6 kids, and Lord have mercy, sometimes I want to exclude one of them once in a while from everything. But you can't do that. So what you need to do is, and brother, if you got kids, it's your fault. I don't care how bad they are. You had them. And a kid, some of these kids these days, if they had a choice to go back into the womb or the sky, the universe, they would go. So it's your responsibility to go after. And hey, you have kids. It's your job, and you have to blood, sweat, tears. You got to go after them. It's just it is what it is. Because if you try and exclude someone, first of all, the other kids are going to bring that person back in. If you cut out 5, 6 kids and I cut one out, the other 5 are going to help that kid out, and it's going to destroy everything I tried to do. So just go after that kid, but, mentally, and try and help them, but put your stuff in writing, though. And then give them instructions on what to do.
Let me ask you this. In your mind, what could a child have done to make a parent say and act in such a vile manner? Because especially if the child is like, okay, that's a shocker to me that you feel that way about me.
Well, again, our kids are offspring of us. Like, let me show you something real quick. I don't know if you can see over there. All my kids are standing over there, right? And I told them I was gonna be here at 4:30, so and they're still setting up. And I ain't trying to be too close to their mama, so I got some time, right? I just wanted to roll up in the Range Rover, so I'm just playing. I'm just kidding, because then she's gonna have some more money. But I do not like their mama. I cannot stand her. I want nothing to do with her. But you know what? I laid down and I had kids with this woman, and it's my fault. And my kids, no matter what happens, it ain't their fault. And a lot of what's wrong with the kids is the way the parents interacted. Rarely do you see a kid grow up with two parents that loved each other and worked it out and looked the kid in the eye and said, hey, here's how you handle it. Rarely does a kid like that grow up to the point where he's uncontrollable. Now, I know kids can act a fool no matter how good of a parent are, but that is rare, right? So they're your kids, my man. You got to take responsibility for them. Like, there's my son, Chris, right there. You see him with Mia. What's up, Mia? Like, she's in the trust, right? But I can tell you, her father, sometimes I wanted to whoop his ass. and people would call me like, oh, your son, I'm about to whoo, right? I ain't gonna say no names. But at the end of the day, and the reason people would call me, and I got that phone call for all my kids, is I'm their father. The buck stops with the man. You are a father. Women like men are the head, women are the neck. But you're their father. It's up to you. Period. I want you to imagine this. That kid that you think is so bad is killed, and you're at his funeral. And God says, you know what? I'm going to give you a chance to walk it back. I'm going to give you 30 more years back with this kid. And he's going to behave the same way, but how would you react? That's how you need to treat him right now. Because ultimately, you guys, there are kids. It's our responsibility. And if your kid's out of line, you got to go after them. Now, sometimes you can't, like some kids are just way too gone, right? Your kids are high, he's on drugs. You don't want to put yourself in danger. But like, it's your offspring, you guys. Even a cub, a lion, no matter how bad his cub is she would give her life to protect that kid. And animals understand that. When you have that emotion for your family, I think your kid, like one of my kids was like, Dad, you disappeared when we were young, and which is some bullshit. I didn't disappear, but I was gone working a lot, and I had to come back and explain to him, like, no, I was at work and like trying to build our fortunes and, trying to get us back in the game. And I had to slow down and let him cuss me out damn near. Like, Dad, you're a horrible dad. And I was like, okay. But you know what? I was like, is anything he's saying true? And some of it was. I didn't like the way it was coming at me. But he was like, you could have been a better dad. We didn't need all that money. We could have did without. Oh Lord, here comes Jacob. Lord have mercy. That's a whole nother conversation. I need to take some time with this brother too. But his father is way gone. Watch him get out the car with a halter top on.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm just, hey, you know what? I'm just having some fun. I be on Jacob too. Hey, look at my granddaughter. They probably wear the same clothes. I'm just kidding. Hey. But you have to take responsibility for your kids. Period. End of discussion. And as bad as they are, that is your blood, your offspring. So when you leave them out, you are messing with your legacy. Period. And he's going to have kids, and you're going to have 10 generations of your kid, a branch that you cut off. You just got to go after him. Brother, I wish there was an easier way, but there's not.
All right. And so Kevin is saying, it says the AM juror tells lawyers that do estate planning. If there's a family member whom you wish to exclude from your estate, you must name them and leave them $1. That defeats standing to challenge the will's meaning.
Okay. That's not true. But I mean, I've heard people say that. It's just, it doesn't work that way. You guys, here's the thing. Law is open to interpretation unless it's in, like, think about this for a second. Even laws that are written in stone are still challenged.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, think about this for a second. The Constitution or whatever says that, if I'm correct, Black people are not full people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. 3/4 or 3/5. 3/5 human.
3/5. But so how do we somehow think that we are a whole human being when clearly in writing it says that we are 3/5? Who are we to believe that we are one whole and we deserve equal rights? So the point I'm making is because it's in writing doesn't make it true. But the more in writing it is, like if you want to exclude a family member, which I'm 100% against, that is self-hate. That is killing your own branch of your tree. And it has to be in writing. And I don't care how bad your kids are. Trust me, I have 6 kids, and there's a good chance that one of them are going to piss me off even today. But
it's still early.
Yeah, that's I told him, I said I'll be here at 4:30. I'm here early because I want to I'm trying to be a better dad, right? But like those are yours. You got to own them, and you have to ask yourself, what type of person are you to exclude your own flesh and blood from your gatherings. Now, and to the same people that feel this way, because I felt this way before, what would your religious leaders say? What would your Bible or Quran or Torah, whatever it is that you read, what would that say about excluding a family member? From what I've seen in religion and spiritual teachings, they say to go after these people no matter what. Right? The prodigal son left, he had hoes, he did all this stuff, he came back and they opened the gates. So your kid, I'm sure, has done nothing like that.
Right. And you know what? I'm glad you touched upon that. And Al, that's actually, he's being transparent that his mom has actually done that to him. He found a letter that she had meant to throw away, and it said all of that he mentioned. And he's like, I, for the life of me, don't know what I did to her, to talk to me that way. But usually, and I'm not speaking to her specifically, but usually those people who do those things to their children, those are the biggest Bible thumpers on the planet. The biggest Bible thumpers.
and she didn't know. That's all. Or she didn't have enough education, or not education, like she didn't know numbers, but she just didn't know herself. Like, if she was on this call, she would probably have done things better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've heard, and my parents, I'm sorry?
She's still alive.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, shit. Then you can go too and bring it up. Like,
he did.
Man, let me tell you something. My mom and my sisters, I heard my mom use an F word to my sisters. She never cussed at me. I was just the best kid. Cleared.
My brothers. She that they didn't do that wrong.
I didn't do my mom. My mom didn't have those kind of issues. Matter of fact, she would call me when they got into it. But actually, one time my mom cussed me out, and so I did to her what I do when my sisters cuss me out: is I hang up the phone and I let time go and I call them back like it never happened. So, and people get amnesia. This is a crazy picture right here. I couldn't look at all these people outside. That's all me. Just craziness, huh? So, hey, Mia. He's the cutest kid. But so, you need to call your mom, and as the stronger person, you need to go to her and you need to lay down the law. Period. Parents get older and then we have to take over. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he went to her. She denied it. I don't recall writing the letter.
Okay. So, but how many people though are going to admit, and this is actually a good topic. I'm glad you brought this up because this is a huge problem for Black people, is we don't have roots. Think about this. If you take a tree and it goes 100 feet to the sky and it has one little root, it's going to fall. Mm-hmm. If you put hundreds of roots in that tree, it is not going to fall. When is the last time you saw a palm tree laying on the ground? Think about that for a second. We as Black people, we don't have roots. Like Mexican people will in a minute say, I'm Mexican, Mexicano, I'm from Michoacan, Zacatecas. I dated this Mexican girl, and the first thing she would bring up is, I'm from Zacatecas. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Right? People from Italy, even Africa, you guys, even Africans, people from Africa don't want anything to do with us. I got an African guy in my neighborhood, and every time I jog, You realize I've seen this brother 20 times. I'm like, hey, brother, how you doing? He has not once looked at me and said hello. Like, he won't even look at me. He just like, oh, you did the nigga. Like, he won't even like talk to me. And I'm like, dude, we are from the same place. The point I make is we don't have roots, but we can grow roots right now. So, Al, if your mom is still alive, and I tell you, brother, I don't care what your mom did to you, I will trade places with you and me anytime to have my mom alive. Today is my mom's birthday, matter of fact. I don't care what my mama did to me or said. I would do anything, take any of her transgressions to have her back right now to deal with it. And that's what you need to deal with, my brother, because one thing I know when I did my mom's eulogy and we flew out there and that was some craziness. We got to do a show about that, right? How to die the right way. But like at my mom's funeral, we were sad, but I remember when I did her eulogy, I felt like I was doing a stand-up comedy routine. Because and even my girl was like, was it supposed to be funny? And I was like, I had a good relationship with my mom. We had a blast. We would go to the beach and we'd go to Vegas. Like, if you go to my Facebook page, my mom is in my page. We had a good time. And she had her issues. But she was my mom like Tupac's mom was a crackhead. And he wrote a song about her saying she's the greatest. Right? So you have to, that's just your job. You're the man. You're the stronger one. She made mistakes. And don't wait till she's in the ground, because what's going to happen is you're going to mature and then you can't dig her up. And that's going to you're going to spend the rest of your life in regret. And that would help Black people, because we need to feel better about ourselves and we need to be stronger as a people. So we need to have our roots. Like, my father's still alive and my father is nuts. I know when my phone rings at 4 a.m. and my father's on the phone, my girl's like, where you going? I'm like, what's my father? She goes, oh. And I can't get a word in edgewise. It's my pops. And my father did drugs. My father, Uncle Max, my father, he went through some stuff, but he's still my dad. I don't care what he did. I do not disrespect him. When he calls, most of the time I try and pick it up. And when he's talking, I just listen.
You live, you work out, you do dishes, you juice, you do, because that's what I do.
It's the same conversation every time you call. Can your food, read your book, watch out for Whitey, all the same shit. And I just listen. But like, and I don't know how long my father's going to be here. But like, when my father passes away, one thing I'm not going to have is regret. Do you know what I'm saying? I can spend more time with him. There's some things we could do better. But like, and my father did some stuff, not to us, for us. Because I remember the day my stepmom called and said, hey, your father's on drugs. All the stuff that's been going on. Here's the truth. I remember going, whoa. It was like Michael Jackson Thriller. Like when Ola Ray turned around and he was doing whatever he was doing. And then, but as I get older now, I go, one of the reasons that I've never done drugs is because my father did drugs. And I don't care what the drug is, cocaine, crack, you can put cocaine in front of me. I'm like, you know what? That damaged our family tree, right? But, and Al, and think about what your mom taught you. Like my father taught me to be awake. And the reason my sister's even doing this show, I guarantee you, she would say most of it was from my father. He was like, stay awake. Black, even though he didn't always do the best at it, he carried the torch. So he was always like, do better. And my father always told me to read. Can your goods. So if you come to my house, my garage, I have food for like 6 months in my garage. Canned, noodles, all that stuff. Water for a year in my garage. And that came, so when the epidemic hit from the coronavirus, I already had all that stuff. And that was all from my father telling me to store your food. So block all the other negative out, because everyone's got negative.
So maybe you could take this comment from somebody who shall remain nameless, that is right above you and next to me. He said,
over there.
He said, I've got 2 grown sons, and them grandbabies ain't my responsibility. I love them, but I do not think it's my responsibility to take care of my grandkids.
Okay, well, first of all, sometimes I feel that way, right? But like, so I'll give you an idea. I'm gonna roll the window down again. There is my hey Lily, hey Stella. So see, I'm waving at my favorite. See my little over there, my little granddaughter. She's one of them. So she is not my child. She is my grandchild. And let me educate what grandchild means. In Spanish, in most languages, in the English language too, grand means big, bold, great, greatness, the grand entrance. You know what I'm saying? The Grand Prix, whatever it is. Grand is greatness. Your bond between your grandkid and your kid is even stronger. Because one, I know that my son Khalid, and Lord help me, sometimes anyways. She is my response. His child, my great daughter, my grand is my responsibility, right? So I look at it like that, and I never understood when I would hear people say, "Oh, I'm taking my kids to court to get custody of my grandkids," and I never understood it. Now I understand it. I'm like, oh, it makes sense to me now. It ain't their fault, but like that is your tree. And honestly, it ain't their fault. So I told my daughter when she had August, I said, you know what? Don't ask me for nothing else. Your stuff goes to him, period. He's getting your stuff, right? Because he's now my new responsibility, and he is my biggest concern. When I go Christmas shopping, which I try not to do for all kind of reasons, but my grandkids are the first people that come to mind. Right. And so, yeah, it's not. And my mom used to be kind of like, oh, I'll watch your kids for a minute.
Right? That's now.
My mom was not like, you couldn't leave the kids with my mom. I did it like twice. And my phone rang every 20 minutes. But at the end of the day, your grandkids are your great kids. Like I tell people, I might have been a horrible father, and I'm not a horrible father, but sometimes if you just retreat, people leave you alone. I may have been a horrible father, but I'm a great grandfather, right? So that is my position on that, and I just tend to be a little more when it comes to kids, more in, more kind of like I work with my son. I've worked with all my kids, and so I see in them me, and I know that their kids, like I have a picture on my social media of my son Miles holding my newest grandkid, Titus. And my son looks so shocked. And I was like, God dang, that is my son holding a baby. I remember, matter of fact, right now I'm in Rubidoux, California. And there's a trailer park around the corner, and we did a birthday party, his first birthday party. You were there. I have a picture of him. He had on a red, white, blue shirt with a what is it? I was gonna call it Truby. A pacifier, and he was holding a balloon at 1 year old. And I remember that picture like it was yesterday. That kid is holding a kid. That kid doesn't know what I know. I'm 50. I know I have 25 years on him. So I need to, when I look at them, I need to go, he doesn't have my experience yet. And so when I tell him all the time, you don't have my experience, period. When you've gone through what I've gone through, you will understand. So, yeah, Donovan, sorry, but I don't know, man. I wish I had a better answer, but yeah.
Absolutely. I don't have any grandkids, but I do have great great nieces and nephews, if you will. That's what they are to me. And I always say it's not my job to tell them no. That's your job. I'm not gonna tell them no. I don't care what it is. They want it, they gonna get it. I'll let y'all do the discipline and stuff. That ain't my job no more. I already did all of that. But I also agree with you, Walter, when you tell the kids, your kids, I got a lot of experience, been there, done that. And I tell a lot of people who say they have problems with their parents, I say, you're a parent now, just keep living. one of these days you're going to do something that your child is, it may, no matter how big or small it is, you're going to do something that they will never forgive you for, or something they'll always remember. So you think of that while you're trying to hold your parents' feet to the fire over something they were, because parenting is really a job in training. You're always learning how to be a parent, right? Nobody is perfect.
Yeah, and Black people, we have done a horrible job at raising our kids. We have done a shitty job of raising our kids. Let me tell you something. There's times I wanted to walk in a room and just kick my kids in the face. My daughter Brittany, who was actually coming around to be one of my favorites. Ironically, me and her talk more than any of my kids. I remember me and her mom were divorced and getting a phone call from my bro Regis, and he says, "Man, your daughter's over there with the mama. You need to go get him. Either the police are gonna come get her, or you need to come get her." And he was talking about the mama. And then I got her, and man, my life for like that was a blackout. Me raising my daughter. I mean, my credit cards, not her, but the nanny I hired, stole my credit cards, wrecked my car. I came outside. She was in the living room in panties. I was like, hey, it was drama. And I just remember going, you know what? That is my child and my responsibility. And I just had to suck it up. That's all there was to it. And when you get to that point, Black people, we will be stronger. Like, like for instance, this whole thing with Trayvon Martin, right? Which is madness. Like, in my opinion, if we were going to blow stuff up, it should have started then. Because that was madness. That's somebody's, like, the Floyd, the gentleman that was killed, that's crazy. Like, watching that video was like, I had to, this morning, I had to turn it all off. Because I was like, I'm looking at my white neighbors like, I'm about to kill every last one of you people. So I had to shut it off. But
hypothetically, it wasn't real. Right,
I'm just saying the emotions and stuff. But like, we have to take care of our kids. One thing, and I remember too, I was with this girl, her name Kyle, she was so fine. I wanted to marry this chick. I was like 10. We lived in Ventura, and my mama would say, when those damn street lights come on, you have your black ass home. And one time I was outside, I remember we was like playing cowboy. I was like, yeehaw, saying, I don't know what the hell I was saying that for. And I heard somebody say, yeehaw my ass, or some shit like that. And my mom snatched my ass and walked me all the way down the street. and my girlfriend was like, your mom is mean. I was like, you know what? And she was white, so it is what it is. I'm sorry. But she was like, I was like, no, she told me to be home at a certain time and I disobeyed her. Where are your kids at night? My daughter Morgan, who I'm gonna get out and see in a few minutes, is 14-year-old. I guarantee you, if her mom called me and says, hey, it's 11 o'clock and she's not home, it would be on and cracking. Now, I would call D. My sister would probably fly off from Florida. I would call my brother. I would call everybody and say, we're looking for Morgan. And when you see her, call me. That's what we should do. We need to start reeling our kids in, you guys. Like me and my kids and one of my sons, we run a business together. And 50% of the time we spend arguing about the business. I'm like, dude, if we spent the other 50% on the business, we would get more done. But he needs to understand. And then I said to myself, Walter, how much money do you need? Like, really, if you take all the money you have and you and your kids move to Africa, to, Ghana, Seychelles. And by the way, Ghana, I heard, is off the hook. I cannot wait till they open up these damn international flights, right? People be hating on Africa. One of my friends went to Africa. She showed me pictures. I was like, oh, get me out of here. And they got ocean water, too. See, here's what's going on. The white people, the Chinese, are up in Africa buying all this shit, and we over here feeling bad about the motherland. Anyways, don't get me excited talking about travel. So, anyways, I forgot what I was talking about, but
here. So let me just read a couple of these comments.
Yeah, go for it.
What's happening to Tay? She says, one blessings in life is watching my parents be grandparents to all 7 grandchildren. And I want to get this comment by Charles. He says, damn, now I'm sad that was the most beautiful thing to see my dad being a great granddad. And then I understood that as a father, he was human and he was there and a provider and as a teacher.
Yep. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. And let's see somebody else made a comment. And Al says Walter is hella funny. And Walter is naturally funny. He don't be trying to be all the time, but Walter's
life is funny when you survive it.
Right. So anybody else have anything else to say before Walter gets out of here? It's his daughter's 15th birthday, his baby. Walter's
Wait a minute. She is 15. Oh, shoot. I'm over here saying she's 14. Man. Crazy. In 1 year, she's going to be 16. And like, I came over here today to shut off her TikTok account. And I need to put it into that. Hey, if your kid got a TikTok account, you need to cut it off. That's all I'm saying. That is Jerry Epstein's new way of communication with these kids is through TikTok. You guys, and that's the other thing, you guys, get your kids off the internet. I don't want to see your daughter in panties. I don't. And if I did, I ain't gonna tell you. But like, get your kids off the internet. Like, we are ruining, and you get off the internet. I don't want to see you in panties. I don't care if you lost 20 pounds. I don't want to see you in panties on the internet. We are ruining, and black women, you are the queens of this planet. You gave life to these people, white, Chinese, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. The black woman is the original woman. Put some goddamn clothes on. Be the queens that you are. Like, you know what I like? Like, I watched a show called Billions. It comes on tonight. Hallelujah. And there's a black woman in them. If you've seen Billions, it's a bomb. Donovan, I know you've seen Billions, right? And there's a sister girl. She got curly hair. She's sophisticated. She is bad. I told my girlfriend, if I ain't home, you know where I'm at. That is a bad. I watched Boomerang yesterday too, and I love seeing black people with power. Even Lady Eloise, even though she's a freak. But like,
hey, hold on, Marcus.
Right?
Sometimes I send him that meme, Marcus.
That is hilarious. But so the point I'm making is we are kings and queens. We need to start behaving like that. You guys, we have more. Think about this, and I'm gonna digress a little bit. I was watching social media, and I saw Killer Mike is on TV. Killer Mike is educated, right? He's a smart brother. But if you saw Killer Mike on the street and you saw him moving around in his demeanor, but couldn't tell what he was saying, you would probably judge him and go, whoa, that's an odd character. Killer Mike is one of the black leaders. Do you realize that CNN, CNBC, CBS, they go to Killer Mike for commentary on the black community? And he's a smart brother. But like, I would probably dress Killer Mike up. I'd probably change his language a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is we have so much power. We should use it. You guys, black people, like, I can turn on the radio station right now and I guarantee you it's a song that's got black music behind it. Or everything from science, technology. Black people we've had our hands in everything from math, investments, technology, everything. Why don't we just be more grateful about it? Because black people, we spend way too much time praying, and I'm going to say it. I've said I wasn't, but I'm going to say it. Stop with the prayer if you don't balance it with gratitude. I told my personal trainer, she goes, well, prayer is what we need. I said, no, that's a lie. I said, you tell me that the God of the universe, he or she knows my every thought, my every movement, before I do it, she or he knows it. I need to ask him or her for something, and he already knows it. You know what the God of the universe probably wants me to do? Be more grateful for what I already have, right? Because I see some people that pray and they do a good job. God, I want to thank you for this. Thank you for this food we're about to receive for the nerves of my body. In Jesus' name, amen. You know what I'm saying? I heard that growing up as a kid. My stepfather, I used to hate it when he used to pray, but it is what it is. But he did it. But he started out saying, thank you. And even now, my son Khalid, we have him pray, and he says the same damn prayer. So it's gratitude. If you Black people, we have it made. We do have a phenomenal life. People want to be us. They love Black people. Think about this. The American Express, the Black card is the most powerful card in the lineup. The Visa Black card. The police were Black to get their point across. When we used to play Rubidoux High School when I was at Ramona, I remember my coach having a heart attack because they wanted to wear Black over us. Right? You have Black tires, Black ground, everything. Black is powerful. That's why they are afraid of us, because Black is power. We need to just be grateful that we were born Black. Like last night, I went to a social distancing party with a bunch of Filipinos, and I walked in and I told my boy Paul, I was like, "Is that Biggie?" It was like 40 Filipinos and me, and they're playing Biggie and Tupac. Doing like, right now on social media, they're doing the battles like Teddy Riley versus like Babyface and all that. They were doing a Biggie Tupac battle. Filipinos. And I was thinking in my mind, y'all knew, well, I won't tell you what I was saying, but like, they bask in our glory in what we created. You don't see us dance at the ching 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 chong chong, right? They are dancing to our stuff. They dance like us. And Eminem showed up. They could not wait for him. White people needed a savior. That gave them permission to dance to our stuff. We need to be grateful that we are strong and powerful. Black people, get out the streets. We got the protest on. If you want to protest, protest. But stop stealing shit. That ain't right, because that's making it worse for us. When is the last time you heard Mr. Floyd's name? In the last 2 days. They're talking about the stealing. Target is praising God right now. You know why? Because Target is in the news. You know what people are doing today? Going to Target to shop there because of the looting in Minnesota. If you are the CEO of Target, you are dancing in the streets because your brand is on the news every day. You cannot buy publicity like that for a chain. Are you out of your mind? It's like, oh, and I'll end with this. Well, I might end with it, but my plan is to end with this. O.J. Simpson drove a Ford Bronco when he got chased by the police. Ford Motor Company is releasing the Bronco for 2021. How in the hell is that possible? So Black people, take ownership. Stop Himmy and Han and Jimmy Crack Cornyn and cut it with the Joe Biden shit. Like, if you want to vote for Joe Biden, vote for Joe Biden. We don't need to hear it every damn day. If you want to vote for Trump, vote for Trump. But at the end of the day, neither one of them like Black people. I call him Three Strikes Joe. Donald Trump, he is, man, but I tell you one thing though, if Donald Trump and Joe Biden, when they get in the room behind closed doors, they are shaking hands and they're talking about the kids they molested. They don't care about us, period. They don't care about us. So you guys if I see one more Joe Biden post, I'm voting for Joe. I don't care if the cows come home and he's on one. You guys, politicians, they don't want us here. Joe Biden is going to put a bush African chick with an afro, with a peace sign if he had his choice. Do you realize the only reason Joe Biden is here is because of South Carolina? He was getting his ass whooped by Andrew Yang before Black people showed up. Here we come to say, I mean, come on now. Don't get me started because I'm a political junkie. I think, we need to just do more for self. And politicians, they're not going to do nothing for us. And reparations, flush down the toilet. Those are gone. Reparations are gone. And you guys, you know what? If I'm Donald Trump, you know what I do? I give black people reparations. You know why? Because that money will be right back where it came from in 48 hours.
Oh, damn.
It's true. There's a and I was on your post and saw the China, the nail salons. The mayor of Atlanta was packed. Everybody's up in there. That don't make no sense, right? So no, we need to take ownership of what we have, regardless of how much money you end up with. If you feel better about yourself, you'll make better decisions. Like when I go outside, I'm like, I'm a black man. People see me, and some of them fear me, but some of them want to be me, right? Because we have swag and we have finesse. When you think about this, you guys use your imagination. Imagine 10 Mercedes Benzes, all black, black interior, pull up right behind each other. Boom, boom, boom. 10 black Mercedes, and 10 brothers get out. Black suits, white shirts, black ties, black shoes, shiny, get out and step. Imagine that scene for just one moment. White women will be reaching for the center of their pants. It is, you cannot buy power like that. So we are in the position of power, right? And we need to start owning that. Black men, it is our job to take care of our society. The reason that black people, I think, are in such bad positions right now in America is because in the 60s, they cut the black man out the picture. Mm-hmm. And they convinced black women they didn't need their man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So anyways, we need to just, I know this is a money section, but we need to own who we are. I love being a black man in this country. I'll tell you, I love being black. I wouldn't want to be anything else. We are superior, and I have a lot of white friends, and if you're listening, I'm sorry, but you know it's true. We are the superior race. I watched the movie 2012, The End of the World, and at the end of the movie, they go, oh, the African continent never was underwater. It never flooded. That's why they call it the Cape of Good Hope. The point I'm making is even the Jews, even they know that Africa is the start, the motherland. But somehow we, who have claim to Africa, have not been there. And that's why I'm glad you guys went to Africa. That was huge, right? I promise you, when this band lifts Africa, I'm going too, right? We are from the greatest continent to ever be created, but somehow we act like the worst people in the world. So anyways, that's my piece.
All right now, so we right on time here. We want to thank you so much, Walter, for giving us your time. I know it's Morgan's birthday. So thank you, and thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you guys got a lot of good information. If you like what you heard, go ahead and visit Walter's website here, cornucopia.com, where there's a whole wealth of information, knowledge, and just you can call him, email, whatever you need to do to get some information, and he can help you with your finances, insurance, you name it. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. And everything. So thank you, Facebook, for being the other side of the conversation, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, Donovan, for everything that you've done, and Marcus behind the scenes. And I also just like to say once again, it would have been my mother's 71st birthday on today. And I'm doing everything I can to make her proud, because she knew I can always do what I'm doing and to take it a step further. And so I just wanted to, pay homage to her. So anyway, we will see. Oh, you got your mask on, huh? All right. Well, tell Morgan I said happy birthday.
All right. I'm out. Peace.
We're going to be on the war zone in about a half an hour. So you guys, please stay tuned there. We are going to share the link to I might go ahead and go live and be on the war zone to get in touch with Gary to see what's going on. He is boots on the ground there in Minneapolis. He's going to give us the scoop on what's going on. So stay tuned. We'll be back in about a half hour. Peace.